Welcome to ESG Decoded, where we navigate the evolving landscape of environmental, social, and governance, ESG. Join me, Amanda Shea, Kaitlyn Allen, and Erika Schiller as we explore the intersection of sustainability, innovation, and ethical leadership.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to ESG Decoded. Today's a little bit of a different format episode. I'm your host, Kaitlyn Allen, joined by my guest, who's typically a host, Erika Schiller. Erika, thanks so much for joining me.
Absolutely. This is a fun new opportunity to work together and see you in action. So happy to be here.
I apologize in advance if there's a difference in audio quality today, but Erika and I are both in the chief office in New York City, so a bit of a different setup, but hopefully it will come across smoothly. The reason we wanted to hop on is because Erika recently participated in North American Carbon World, NACW, which is the main conference related to decarbonization, specifically using a financial tool called offsets or carbon credits. And so Erika has some thoughts to share on what the state of corporate climate action is. And we thought this would be a nice way to kind of quickly get out some key points of what our team observed at NACW this year. Erika, over to you.
Great. Thank you, Kaitlyn. Yeah, North American Carbon World was hosted in San Francisco this year. It's primarily put on by the Climate Action Reserve, which is one of the major carbon registries that operates both carbon voluntary or verified carbon market for voluntary buyers, but they also have a compliance program, some of the Western states, including California. And this year, it was a really interesting format. They had a lot of speakers come in and talk about a lot of setting the framework for kind of where we are in the market. And a lot of it was around, why are buyers so confused today? Why does it feel like there's a pause in climate action when we all recognize that this is a climate crisis that we're living through right now and we need to address it? There's a lot of pause and confusion, and really what's behind that. And there are a few different key market drivers that are contributing to that. One being the Integrity Council for the Voluntary Carbon Market, that's the ICVCM, has announced that they're going to approve the first CCP or core carbon principles for different registries and methodologies or activity types in the VCM, the Voluntary Carbon Market. And a lot of folks have been waiting to see what's going to be approved, what's going to get this integrity stamp, this CCP stamp. And so folks are waiting for, I don't want to make the wrong decision, so I want to wait for this stamp. Similarly, CORSIA, which is an aviation compliance program that started really in the voluntary space and now is moving into a compliance space, that requires kind of a stamp of approval from the aviation program. And thus far, no registries have gotten a full approval to be CORSIA eligible. And part of the challenge there is CORSIA requires a corresponding adjustment. So if you buy credits from a particular country, that country needs to say that those credits aren't part of their nationally determined contribution, which is all part of Paris, the Paris Accords and Article 6 as part of Paris. So it's really tricky to implement this compliance program. And so a lot of folks are waiting for when are those registries and those methodologies going to be approved by CORSIA or to be eligible for CORSIA. And then again, with Article 6, outside of CORSIA, there are also folks who want Article 6 approval for their projects to know if they could apply for other compliance programs, such as Singapore or other countries that are setting up compliance programs or carbon taxes. So there's a lot of waiting out there. What's going to be eligible? What's going to be approved? What's the highest quality? What's going to have this new stamp? And so it's causing just a lot of wait and see and a real slowdown in the climate action and in the carbon markets.
And that, to your point before, right, is the one of the fastest ways to move capital is through these markets that have been functioning and existing for many years now. So these slowdowns are, have an impact on climate action. What would you recommend to corporations that are feeling like they're in this wait and see mode? And there are very valid reasons for being in that position. But what would you suggest as a way to move forward and take some steps now while, understanding that there are uncertainties in the market?
Yeah, I think first it's important to be transparent, right? We don't know everything. And frankly, our understanding of climate science, what are good activities, what are the right removals, all these different types of things, the right avoidance credits. I think that our understanding is always evolving. And that's fine. That's good. That means that we're spending time, we're learning, we're applying those learnings. So, my first recommendation is be transparent that this is what you're doing today, but you're prepared to iterate. You're prepared to learn and evolve. And then my next thought is, we have a lot of companies have set targets for 2030. And it also feels like there's a pause around, well, what do I have to do today? If I have this 2030 target, I'm maybe chipping away at that. I think a lot of companies are discovering it's going to be a lot harder than they expected to meet those 2030 goals. But I think a lot of folks are saying, well, we'll just get as close as we can. And then maybe we'll, participate in the carbon market to bridge to my goal, right? And I think, why are we going to wait? If we set those 2030 goals and we were authentic that we think that climate action is important, then we should be participating now.
Well, and it's also that difficulty, right? Because there's this premium in the market being placed on removals, which are generally nature-based, right? And yet those projects take a very, very long time. It takes a long time for a tree to grow, right? So there are so many things that need financing now to have the intended effect by 2030, or at this point, it's 2024, right? By 2034, we work on that 10-year timeframe for most of our long-term projects. So there's this sense of urgency of getting the investments today for those future reductions and removals. So yeah, it's understandably a quandary for companies, but we can't let all of these, barriers stand in the way of taking action today, making the investments today, because that's what's driving capital to long-term goals.
Yeah, and I'd add, I don't think every company is going to be in a position to invest in a reforestation project today, right? Those are hard to get your mind around. That may not be your core business. There are risks associated with, the physical, the risk of wildfires or, rodents, whatever is going to destroy your forest. And also, political risk, currency risk, all these different things. And so, I think there are easy ways to get started to make some steps today that matter, right? These are real steps. And so some examples might be buying renewable energy certificates, so RECs. So just looking at what's your footprint of the power that you use. And can you include RECs as part of your reduction plan to incentivize more renewable power installations and to use those environmental attributes for your own footprint? If you wanted to go beyond RECs, you could do a power purchase agreement, and that's more of a term agreement for renewable power, clean power. And then, even farther than that might be installing, renewable energy infrastructure on your facility, right? That's kind of the next level. All of those are important. Some of them are easier. Some of them have longer lead times. You could buy RECs tomorrow, but it's going to take some more time to choose the right infrastructure and get people on site and install. Another way to get started today could be, buying carbon offsets, right? Buying carbon credits that are for projects that are making real climate impact today. And that demand signal encourages more investment in the carbon markets, in carbon reductions, in carbon removals. And really, we need every tool in our toolbox to address this climate crisis. So I would encourage people to make those baby steps today as they think about making investments in both decarbonizing within their fence line, within their plant, and potentially investing in nature-based or other types of removals projects and avoidance projects, because we need all of them.
Absolutely. Well, Erika, thank you for hopping on for this lightning fast recap of NACW and the current state of corporate climate action. Really, really appreciate it. And off to the train station.
Yes, this was a lot of fun. And honestly, I thought it was very energizing at this NACW conference to see all the people who are working really hard to, respond to this climate crisis, who have real projects, real reductions, real ways that they're impacting both our environment and our economy. And, I'm energized to find ways to do more and improve the impacts.
Absolutely. As are all of us at ClimeCo. So thank you so much and catch you next time.
Thank you, Kaitlyn.
Whether you're a seasoned ESG practitioner or embarking on your sustainability journey, ESG Decoded is your trusted source for inspiration and actionable insights for responsible business practices. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platforms to be notified of new episodes drop bi-weekly on Tuesday mornings, and connect with us at ESG Decoded on social media or by visiting www.climeco.com.